Rovers kicked off their EFL Championship campaign with a defeat, that's right, and a bit of a toothless one up against West Bromwich Albion. Just how well were we, or just how shit were we? Well, I'm going to tell you next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we take a look at, of course, the latest round of shambles. That is Blackburn Rovers, as we kicked off our campaign in the Championship up against the West Brom side. Unfortunately, we did lose, but I'll tell you all about that in just 1 second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons, and again, if you're new, where have you been? Smash your subscribe. You want to for Blackburn Rovers, Championship football. Whoa, football, we're going to all hear under one Rooski. That's right, Rovers, it's been a whole summer. We've waited for this, and we've been absolute shite today. Kick it off with a big fat 1-0 loss. But how did it all break down? I'll tell you right here, right now. So let's jump in the deep end and have a look at the game. It was a 1-0 win, win for West Brom, that's right, at the Hawthorns. Early strike, 15th minute, Issac Price pummeled the ball home. It wasn't pretty, but it was enough to get over the line. In the game, that Rovers dominated in possession, but it was kind of like a toothless kind of possession. I realistically don't know where all these stats have come from here. 10 shots for Blackburn Rovers. I didn't feel like there was any actual credible shots from Blackburn Rovers. I don't think the keeper got worked at all. And even at the end there, Darnell Furlong got sent off. It was 2-0 too late, and Rovers just couldn't take any advantage of being a one man above West Brom. But what I can say is that we did get a penalty shout turned away by the referee. An absolute disgrace he was. Yeah, it's just not a good start for Rovers. But let's, of course, kind of take a little back seat here. Let's let's take this with a pinch of salt. First game of the season, I've seen a lot of people throwing their toys out of a pram, whether they're Blackburn Rovers fans or other fans from clubs in the Championship that did suffer a defeat. There was worse performances out there. Take a look at Sheffield United, shit in the bed 4-1 against Bristol City. So again, we're all rusty. A lot of players look leggy already. Honestly, if we come out of this, it could have been much, much worse. But definitely a lot. We kind of came out of this with a bit more clarity in certain areas. There's certain players that are probably not fit enough to be starting regularly for Blackburn Rovers, and of course some new guys coming into the mix here that need a bit more time to find themselves. Get them into the form that we know, the form that we know they've got in them, because they are better players than this. Yeah, we go again. Of course, the wait for the next game is not that far away. Of course, we've got the Carabao Cup just around the corner, and we'll talk about that in another video. But let's get back to the stats here and have a look at them for you. Of course, seven shots off target for Rovers. The same can be said for West Bromwich Albion. We had 7 corners. Didn't really take full advantage of those. There was a couple of different variety of corner takers for Blackburn Rovers today. Darnell, Ribeiro, I think, took some corners. So undecided as who is actually going to be our set piece taker moving forward, which is a major concern. And again, a question that doesn't get answered. It seems like we don't kind of answer the questions season in, season out. I can't remember the last time we had a solid free kick taker. We had a couple of dead ball situations where we couldn't really take full advantage. On the flip side, West Brom had some really good chances from some dead balls. There was a free kick that looked like it was too far out for a shot, but they went for it. Toff had to scramble and make a real good save. And there was another one where, of course, Toff had to be at his very, very best as well. Toff looked good, a little bit wild, a little bit of a maverick. He looks a little bit, what's the word? Unorthodox, I think, is the correct way to become a goal. Unorthodox stature as a goalkeeper. He kind of looks a little bit messy, but somehow gets the save off. So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on Toff moving forward. But let's, of course, take a little look at those starting 11s then, right, shall we? I'm going to chuck them at you right here, right now. Here, of course, are those starting 11s with West Bromwich Albion, starting with Josh Griffiths between the sticks. We had Hagham at the back, Phillips, Styles, and Furlong making up a back four. We had Mowat, Malumbi in the defensive pivot for the Baggies, Fellows on the right, Grant on the left, Issac Price in the middle pulling the strings, and Hegbo up top. As for Rovers, we had Toff between the sticks, McLaughlin at the back there alongside Dom High. A bit of a nice, I think McLaughlin looked good, probably one of my standout players if I'm going to be honest with you. Ribeiro on the left hand side, Evoluso on the right. Some people really took a fond likeness to him early doors. Travis, of course, pulling the strings again. Big, some really weird vibes for the Travis future post-match on this one. Kind of felt felt like that might be his last game already for Blackburn Rovers, with a lot of question marks about transfer stature moving forward. Tronstad there alongside him, Hedges, Darnell. Axel got the start, and the jury's out on Axel. Again, it's early doors up for the guy, but not necessarily his finest hour as the Blackburn Rovers. And then, of course, Yuki leading large solo up top. As for the substitutions, take a little look at them here. There we go. Joe Wildsmith was not a substitute. He wasn't a used substitute. We had the likes of George Campbell coming on there, Diakake there for West Bromwich Albion, and Jed Wallace coming on later on. Meanwhile, Rovers did throw in another debutant there. Actually, a couple of debutants. Lewis Miller, Sidney Tavares coming on for some minutes. Cargbo looked lively, and Mac Dugay had some minutes, but realistically didn't look that fruitful. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the match ratings for the players that are coming out right here, right now. Starting with West Brom, 6.9 for Griffiths. He was kind of not really busy, to be fair. We had Stars at left back, looked solid, 7.5. Hegem might be distracted with this potential move elsewhere on the cards. Phillips with a 7.7, 7.4 for Furlong, who did see red, wearing the captain's armour as well, so he will not be involved with West Brom's next match. I don't know if that's the Carabao Cup or it will be the league. Who knows? Mowat and Malumbi, very solid. Didn't do a foot wrong. Grant on the left, a bit of a, he was just out there, didn't really contribute much. Price with the goal. Fellows, again, not the best. And he also could be out. He could leave. So West Brom could be seeing the backs of Hegem and Fellows in the next couple of weeks, with Bologna looking at signing Hegem. And I do believe Southampton looking at Fellows once Tyler Dibley goes to Everton. A bit of a dominoes there. Up top, Hagbo. Not the best for him, but a run out. As for Rovers, Toff, not a bad performance from him. Ribeiro on the left-hand side, McLaughlin 7.5. Thought he was pretty solid and didn't do really foot wrong. And he did venture forward, which I like to see. Hyam, of course, his partner in crime there, and Ablusu 6.1. Yeah, I wasn't blown away with Ablusu. I think Miller was more lively when he came on. Tronstad 7.5. Travers with a 6.7. Again, Travers had a lot of the touches, but it looks like Tronstad did all the work. Hedges, Henriks, and Darnell, those three were pretty poor. Ohashi didn't really get much. Honestly, these four were kind of set out to sea, really. Didn't really contribute much moving forward. So pretty miserable stuff there. Let's take a look at the shot map here. Rovers, of course, the blue, I believe. Is that right? The blue. Regardless, here they are. Of course, the numbers are down the side here. Miller, 2 shots for him. Look at that, coming in from the bench. Tavares as well, a couple of shots for him. Mac Gay, all substitutes. There's 5 efforts right there. Tronstad, Ribeiro, McLaughlin with an effort, and Deneb as well. This is, of course, down here, the chart where everything happened. The goal here, early doors. A couple of yellow cards as well for West Brom. Not Rovers. Didn't pick up a yellow card, which is, of course, a surprising statistic moving forward. And, not the best from... Just not the best attacking performance from Blackburn Rovers. Meanwhile, what was said over on social media, then shall we take a look at Rovers' fan base? It wasn't the best of reading. I'm zooming in for you right here. We'll scroll down, kick it off with Lewis. Seriously, can't watch Hedges play again for another season. Meanwhile, Galarossi Blue said, please tell Val to start Cargbo in every game and please offer Derby 500k to take Hedges from us since they love our players so much. He's bad. He does keep starting. Nath Rover said, how have we lost? How we have lost, I don't know. Better side, especially second half, comes down to it. Penalty not given and ref cost us again. Start the season with me to go on. Shows we need a right winger and badly. Report Rover says, stop playing Edges. He says, offers absolutely nothing. Utter waste of space on the team bus. Never mind the starting 11. Shocking. Lewis Hamill says, if Vahashi is going to be our main man this season, we are in big trouble. Positives to take from the game, though, like Pears not being in the squad. Callum Atmas says, disappointing and unaspiring start to the season. Never really tested Griffiths at all. None of the debutants really wowed me either, but still early days, I suppose. Mike Pink 85 says, the 2 new right backs look quite promising. Deneb and Axel look lost. Unfortunately, looks like the Championship is a big step up from what they are used to. Dawsy said, wonder how much they pay the ref and when they'll remain the stadium to the library, as I'm used to Ewood. Meanwhile, Suffolk Rovers said, Hedges is a fraud. He can't start the next game. Get a new right winger ASAP. Carl Wick says, that familiar feeling created very little. Hedges and Miller down the right is not the answer. So a lot of people just hammering that right-hand side. Feels unjust given the penalty decision, but a very uninspiring start. Where are the goals coming from? Long season ahead. The sports guy said, relax. It's the first game of the season. We've had more possession away from home. Let a soft goal early on. Should have had a penalty. They hardly laid a glove on us. all second half. On to the next. That's a bit of positivity right there. Meanwhile, Blackburn guy said, good win for the ref. Allowed a goal with a foul. Let multiple head injuries happen before finally sending someone off for being reckless and denies a clear penalty. Our only fault is not creating enough chances and allowing the ref to decide the result. Ryan talks. Rover says, let Hedges walk home. He has the energy. He'll have the energy because he didn't use any of it during the game. Russell Wally says, got to start Carbo. Disappointed with Trav. Looked slow. Is he wanting out? Gary Barrett says, not a memorable match performance today. Alas, move on. So that was the state of play in regards to the Twitter sphere. But of course, we got to move on because there are many games around the corner. This is what happened last time around, of course, with the rest of the matches over in the Championship. Birmingham and Ipswich duked out to a 1-1 scoreline early doors in the Friday night game there. Of course, Southampton, Wrexham, all the goals towards the back end of it. Or the goals for Southampton. Anyway, they snatched it 2-1 win. Coventry and Hull must have a 0-0 draw in their first games, as did Charlton pick up a 1-0 win over Watford. Norwich City succumbed to a 2-1 loss at home. Manning's boys shitting the bed there. Millwall taking the points. Oxford also losing at home. With Stoke picking up a 3-1 win. I think they were top of the league until Bristol City were there. Middlesbrough opening up there with a 1-0 win under Edwards, and QPR and Preston duked out to a 1-1 scoreline. But maybe the surprise result was Bristol City's 4-1 win over Sheffield United. So leave the table looking like this, guys. Of course, as you see, it is early days. Bristol City are getting promoted as of right now, as are Stoke. Millwall, Southampton, Charlton and Middlesbrough will make up the playoffs. Going down, if it was to end today, Sheffield United, Derby and Watford. And I'll take that all fucking day long. That's, of course, take that to the bank. We can't sit on that too long because we've got a busy week up ahead. It's actually going to be 3 matches in the space of 8 days. We've got the Carabao Cup coming at you on Tuesday where Rovers take on Bradford City. But the EFL Championship returns next week as we host our first Premier League, Championship game of the campaign at Ewood Park. Is Rovers taking on Moneybags FC. That is Birmingham City. But it all kick off on Saturday as Wrexham, that's Hollywood FC, taking on West Bromwich Albion in an early kick-off on the Saturday. Derby County entertain Coventry, also an early kick-off in that game. Pompey against Norwich, also early doors there. Then the 3 o'clock kickoffs. We'll see Preston against Leicester, Swansea against Sheffield United, Watford against QPR. We have Sheffield Wednesday against Stoke, Millwall against Borough, Bristol City against Charlton, and Ipswich against Southampton. That's actually on a Sunday, as is Hull against Oxford United. So a stellar fixture list just around the corner. And we'll have our predictions on the channel. They might be live, they might not be live. I'm not too sure yet because we have a busy old week. But ultimately, Rovers, let's just wrap this baby up. We showed up. 11 people showed up. We played a match. It was not much in it, to be honest. We're a little bit hard done by with our penalty shout that we should have had a penalty. I honestly think so. And yeah, the ref kind of screwed us over with that. West Brom scored the 1 goal. I don't think they needed to score more than that. So let's just. I think the clarity now is to see who actually will be still here come the end of August. Of course, Travis, the rumour has it at the end of today, Big Val was quizzed about the future of certain or players, senior players, key players, and he did say that the likelihood is at least one senior player will be going. So that is, and people are assuming it is Lewis Travis. Because he, of course, has 1 year left on his deal. It's either him, it's either Tronstad, it could be both, it could be more. It could even be Hedges, or I don't know, or Hyam, who knows. Hedges, I'm sure everybody would jump at that. And of course, Rovers need to then either, what are we going to do about it? We can't just, it was kind of concerning today, the lack of goal threat. And we were linked with a Japanese winger mid-May through the week, and I'm not too sure he's the answer. So I'm hoping Rovers are looking at other options there for the right winger, someone with a more goal threat, someone with a bit more experience and a bit more know-how, and maybe hopefully take a set piece because we're weak in that regard. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have been amazing. I'll see you soon, of course. It doesn't stop here, though. We've got the preview for the Carabao Cup right around the corner, and then, of course, focus switching back to our home game against Birmingham in the Cup, in the league. Oh, yeah, that's just crazy. I can't keep up. I'll see you soon. I'm out.